Hello, my beloved ones. It is a joy to be with you here in this silence, in this shared space of inquiry. Today, we are going to talk about something that the world is absolutely terrified of. Yet, it is the only thing that is absolutely certain in your life. We are going to talk about death, but don't be afraid. To understand death is to understand the very peak of life. There is no other way. If you are afraid of death, you will always be afraid of life. If you hide from death, you will only live a life that is superficial, a life that is just a series of shadows and fears. To truly live, one must learn the art of dying, and no culture in the history of humanity has mastered this art as deeply, as scientifically as the Tibetans. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, or the Bardo Thodol, is not a book about the dead in the way you might think. It is a manual for the living. It is a guide for the greatest journey you will ever take, the journey from this body through the intermediate states of consciousness into the ultimate reality. In Tibet, they don't see death as a catastrophe. They see it as a tremendous opportunity for liberation. While the rest of the world is busy decorating the prison cells of their bodies and minds, the Tibetan mystics have spent centuries mapping the territory of the soul as it leaves the physical form. They have turned the moment of death into a science of enlightenment. Before we dive deep into the secrets of the Bardo, I want to ask you a favor. If these words touch something deep within you, if you feel a resonance with this truth, please click the like button and share this video with those you care about. We are living in a world of darkness, and every spark of consciousness we share helps to light the way for others. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and join our community of seekers. Your support allows these teachings to reach more hearts across the globe. Think about it. The only country in the world that has devoted all its genius, all its intelligence to the inner exploration is Tibet. Its findings are of tremendous value. While the West was building machines to go to the moon, Tibet was building a science to go into the very center of the self. They realized that death is a fiction. It is a change of form. a transition from one gear to another. In the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, Shiva gives a technique, radiant one. This experience may dawn between two breaths. This betweenness is what the Tibetans call the Bardo. It is the gap. And in that gap, the beneficence happens. If you find this exploration valuable and would like to support our work in making these rare teachings accessible, consider clicking the join button on our channel to become a member. You can also show your appreciation through super thanks. Your generosity helps us continue this mission of awakening. Also, don't forget to check out our collection of ebooks in the description below, which offer practical methods to deepen your meditation and understanding of these mysteries. Most of you live your lives in a state of sleep. You walk, you talk, you eat, but you are not really there. You are a mechanical device. A big city of 70 million cells running silently. But the more has to be found. The Bardo Thodol is designed to wake you up at the very moment when the body is failing, because that is the moment when the ego is most vulnerable. When the body is healthy, the ego feels strong. It feels like it is the master. But when the breath starts to leave, when the heart begins to slow down, the ego starts to tremble. In that trembling, there is a crack. Through that crack, the light of the ultimate can enter. But if you are not prepared, you will miss it. You will be so overwhelmed by fear that you will fall into a deep unconsciousness, just like you do when you go to sleep every night. Death is exactly like sleep, but on a much deeper scale. If you cannot even stay aware while you are falling asleep at night, how do you expect to stay aware when the whole house is being demolished? That is why meditation is a rehearsal for death. Every time you go deep into meditation, you are practicing the Bardo. You are learning to let go of the body, to let go of the mind, and to remain as a pure witness. Tibet has given us the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, the sound of silence, the diamond in the lotus. This is not just a chant, it is a philosophy. The money is the diamond, your eternal soul. And the Padma is the lotus, this body, this world. The diamond is hidden inside the lotus. When the lotus withers, as all flowers must, the diamond remains. It is symbolic of eternity. The diamond knows no death. It is immortal. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is simply a set of instructions on how to recognize that you are the diamond, even as the lotus of your body is falling apart. When a person is dying in Tibet, a lama or a friend sits by their ear and reads the Bardo Thodol. They are not reading it for the living. They are reading it for the consciousness that is leaving the body. They say, "O nobly born, listen. You are now facing the clear light. Do not be afraid. This light is your own true nature. It is the emptiness that is also full. Merge into it." They are trying to keep the person awake, because the first thing that happens at the moment of death is a blinding flash of the clear light. It is the ultimate truth, the ultimate reality. If you can recognize it as yourself, you are liberated instantly. You don't need to go through the other stages of the Bardo. You are home. But almost nobody recognizes it. It is too much. It is like 1,000 suns rising at once. You have lived in the darkness of the mind for so long that you cannot bear the brilliance of the truth. You close your eyes. You shrink back. You look for a shadow to hide in. And that shadow is your next birth. You start looking for a womb. You start looking for a new body, a new set of problems, a new ego, and the cycle continues. The Bardo Thodol is a way to break this cycle. It tells you exactly what kind of visions you will see. It tells you that you will see beautiful deities and terrifying demons. And then it tells you the secret. None of them are real. They are all projections of your own mind. If you have been a very religious person, in a conventional sense, you might see Jesus or Buddha or Krishna. If you have been a fearful person, you might see monsters and hells. But the Bardo Thodol warns you, do not be deceived. These are just the contents of your own unconscious being thrown onto the screen of existence. Stay as a witness. Do not judge, do not fear, and do not cling. This is why I say that the first requirement for being a man is the awareness of death. Not to be afraid of it, but to look at it, to contemplate it. Do not escape the fact. It is there and you cannot escape it. It was born with you. The moment you become aware that death is certain, your total perspective changes. You stop worrying about trivial things. You stop fighting over money and prestige. You start looking for that which is eternal. In our journey today, we will look at the three main stages of the Bardo: the Chikhai Bardo, the Chonid Bardo, and the Sitpa Bardo. We will see how each stage offers a chance for enlightenment if you have the knack of meditation. Meditation is not a science of the mind, it is a knack. It is the art of being absent so that the divine can be present. When you are not, God is. When the ego is not, the Bardo becomes a celebration. I want to hear from you. What is your greatest fear regarding death? Is it the pain, the unknown, or leaving loved ones behind? Write it in the comments below. Let us bring these fears into the light. By sharing them, they lose their power over us. I read your comments and they help me understand how to guide you better on this path. Tibet has fallen into darkness now. Monasteries closed, seekers forced into labor camps. The only country in the world that was a one-pointed genius in the search for interiority has been stopped by materialists. This is the greatest calamity of the 20th century. They believe you are only matter and consciousness is just a byproduct. But the outer is only a protection for the inner. They exist together. They are inseparable. To deny the inner is to deny the very source of life. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is the evidence of that inner world. It is the map of the soul. And even if the physical Tibet is suppressed, the truth it discovered belongs to all of humanity. It is your heritage. You are a Buddha in the making. You are a budding Buddha. And nothing is lacking. All is ready. You just have to bring a small lamp inside your house to make the darkness disappear. Then you will no longer be a beggar. You will be an emperor. So let us begin the exploration of the first stage of the Bardo, the moment of death itself. What really happens when the breath stops? What is that neutral gear Shiva speaks of? Let us move into the heart of the mystery. The first stage of the Bardo is called the Chikhai Bardo, the Bardo of the moment of death. This is the most critical moment, the most precious moment. In the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, there is a sutra that says, as breath turns from down to up, and again as breath curves from up to down, through both these turns realize. This turn is the neutral gear. In that neutral territory, you are neither a body nor a soul, neither physical nor mental. You simply are an existence, pure, simple, unembodied, with no mind. At the moment of death, this neutral gear becomes the only reality. The body gear is finished. The mind gear is losing its power. For a brief period, you are in a state of pure isness. The Tibetans say that at this point, the primary clear light dawns. If you have been a meditator, if you have practiced being a witness to your thoughts and your body, you can recognize this light. You can say, this is it. I am this light. I am not the body that is lying there cold and still. I am not the mind that is crying for its possessions. I am this infinite brilliance. If you can merge into it, the journey is over. You have achieved nirvana. You will never need to enter a womb again. You have become the ocean. But for the ordinary person, this moment is missed. Why? Because of fear. Death is like love. It is a death of the ego. The mind becomes alert and begins to say many things to you to keep you away from this danger. It tells you to postpone, to look away, to cling to anything, and so the clear light is seen only for a fraction of a second, and then it is gone. You fall into a swoon, a deep unconsciousness that lasts for about 3.5 or 4 days. During this time, the consciousness is still hovering around the body, but it is in a state of shock. This is why in the Tibetan tradition, they insist on not disturbing the body immediately after death. They say the consciousness is still there, even if the breath has stopped. It is in the Bardo. If you start wailing and crying, if you start fighting over the inheritance, if you treat the body like a piece of garbage, you are disturbing the transition of the soul. The person can hear you, not with the physical ears, but with the subtle senses. Just as in meditation, the inner senses are absolutely immersed in the experience. When Marpa, the great Tibetan mystic, died, his disciples heard the sound of Om coming from his body, from his feet, from his hands. Every fiber of his body had learned a certain synchronicity with the inner music. The inner starts radiating, particularly at the moment of death, when everything comes to a crescendo. This is the potential of a conscious death. It becomes a celebration of sound and light. If you find this perspective on death liberating and want to help us share this light with others who may be grieving or afraid, please consider supporting the channel. You can click Super Thanks or Join to become a part of our inner circle of supporters. Every bit of help goes towards preserving and spreading these essential truths. And if you want to explore the techniques Osho mentions for yourself, our ebooks are available in the link below. They are designed to help you transform your daily life into a meditation. The Bardo Thodol says that after the initial shock, the consciousness wakes up. This is the second stage, the Chonid Bardo, the Bardo of the experiencing of reality. Now the fun begins, or the nightmare, depending on you. In this stage, you start to see visions. The Tibetans describe them as peaceful and wrathful deities. For 7 days, beautiful, radiant beings appear, surrounded by rainbows and music. They represent the pure qualities of the 5 Buddhas: wisdom, compassion, mirror-like awareness. They are inviting you to merge with them. But here is the trick. Along with these brilliant, blinding lights of the deities, there are also soft lights. A soft white light, a soft blue light, a soft yellow light. These soft lights are the paths to the 6 realms of samsara, the realms of gods, titans, humans, animals, hungry ghosts, and hell beings. And because you are afraid of the brilliant light, you are drawn to the soft light. The soft light feels comfortable. It feels familiar. It feels like home. But the Bardo Thodol shouts at you, do not go towards the soft lights. They are the doors to the prison. Go towards the brilliant light, even if it scares you. That is the door to freedom. If you miss the peaceful deities, the wrathful deities appear for the next 7 days. They are terrifying. They are drinking blood. They are surrounded by fire. They have many heads and weapons. But the book tells you a great secret. They are the same peaceful deities, just seen through the lens of your fear. If you cannot accept the beauty of the truth will look ugly and frightening to you. It is just like in life. If you are a gross, anti-meditative person, the presence of a Buddha will even make you angry. You may become violent because of his presence. The wrathful deities are just your own repressed energies. They are your anger, your greed, your lust taking form. If you can stay as a witness, if you can laugh at them and say, I see you, you are just my own mind, they will dissolve. But if you think they are real, if you try to run away from them, they will chase you, and you cannot run far. Because in the Bardo, you don't have a physical body, you have a mental body that can move at the speed of thoughts. Wherever you think of, you are there instantly. This sounds like a superpower, but it is a curse if your mind is full of fear and confusion. Think of your life right now. Are you a master of your thoughts, or are your thoughts a master of you? If you cannot even control your thinking for 5 minutes while you are sitting in a comfortable chair, what will you do when your mind is being bombarded by the visions of the Bardo? This is why I say, stop being a beggar for attention. Discover your authentic self. The whole world is full of beggars because they don't know their reality. But you have the potential to be a Buddha. I want you to try a small experiment for the next 3 days. Whenever you feel a strong emotion, anger, fear, or even great joy, don't get identified with it. Just say to yourself, this is a vision of the Bardo. Watch it as if it is a movie on a screen. If you can do this while you are alive, you will be a master when you are dead. Let me know in the comments how this experiment feels for you. Does it make you feel more distant from your problems? Remember, the goal of the Bardo Thodol is to make you realize that everything else is real except the I. The I is the only thing that doesn't exist. The ego is the only barrier. If you can drop the I in the middle of the Bardo visions, you are liberated. You become the whole universe. You become the great encompassing. If you miss all these opportunities, the clear light, the peaceful deities and the wrathful deities, then you enter the third stage, the Siddha Bardo, the Bardo of seeking rebirth. This is where you start to see the future. You see couples making love. You see different colored lights representing different wombs. Your karma is now pulling you like a magnet. You have a desire to be back in a body. You miss the warmth, the food, the sex, the ego. You feel naked and lost in the vastness of the Bardo, and you hanker for a house to live in. But even here, the Bardo Thodol gives you instructions on how to close the door to the womb. It tells you to meditate on love and compassion, to see the couples as divine beings, and to not feel attraction or repulsion. If you can stay neutral, you can choose a conscious birth. You can choose parents who will help you on your spiritual path. You can choose to be born in a place where meditation is valued. You don't have to be a victim of your biology. The Bardo is a science of transformation. It is the alchemy of the soul. And it all begins here, in this moment. Every breath you take is a birth and a death. If you can be aware in the gap between two breaths, you have already conquered death. You have already entered the temple of the transcendental. We are going to move into the practical techniques of the Bardo in the next part of our journey. we will look at how to use the intangible breath to have direction over dreams and death itself. Don't go anywhere. This is the most important information you will ever receive. Shiva, in the Book of Secrets, gives us the key. He says, with intangible breath in center of forehead, as this reaches heart, at the moment of sleep, have direction over dreams and over death itself. This is a profound technique that bridges our nightly sleep with the final sleep of death. You see, death and sleep are made of the same stuff. Every night when you fall asleep, you are going through a mini Bardo. You lose your connection with the physical world. Your ego dissolves into the unconscious and you enter the world of dreams. If you can learn to stay aware as you fall asleep, you are training yourself to stay aware as you die. This is the secret of conscious dreaming or yoga nidra. How to do it? As you lie in bed, getting ready to sleep, focus on your breath. But don't just feel the air moving in your nose, feel the prana, the intangible, invisible part of the breath. Feel it entering through the third eye, the center of your forehead, and moving down to your heart. Go on feeling this as sleep overtakes you. If you fall asleep while being aware of the prana touching your heart, a miracle happens. You will be aware in your dreams. You will know that you are dreaming. And once you know you are dreaming, you become the master of your dreams. You can create any dream you like, or you can stop any dream you don't like. But more importantly, you have achieved a rare mastery over your consciousness. For one who is aware in dreams, death is no longer a problem. Because at the moment of death, when the Bardo visions start to appear, you will say, I know this. This is just a dream. This is just the mind playing its tricks. And in that recognition, you are free. This mastery is what the Tibetans were working on in their monasteries for 2000 years. They weren't just praying, they were experimenting with the very fabric of reality. They found that if you can remain a witness to the I-ness as it disappears, you will not die. You will have a sinking sensation, like you are falling into a bottomless abyss. But if you don't get afraid, if you don't run back to your thoughts, you will come out on the other side as something absolutely new. There is another technique that Buddha used to give to his disciples. He would send them to the burning places to watch dead bodies being cremated. He would tell them to sit there for 3 months and just watch. Why? Because sooner or later you start seeing yourself on that burning pyre. You realize this body that I call mine is just subtle matter. It is a temporary house. In the Vigyan Bhairo Tantra, it is described as focus on fire rising through your form from the toes up until the body burns to ashes, but not you. This is a powerful visualization. You can do it right now, wherever you are. Close your eyes and feel a fire starting at your toes. Let it slowly move up, consuming your feet, your legs, your torso, your arms, your head. See your body turning to white ashes. And then ask, if the body is gone, who is the one that is watching the fire? Who is the one that knows the body has been burned? That one is you. That is your reality. That is the diamond in the lotus. When you realize that you are not the body, the fear of death disappears instantly, because death can only burn the ashes. It cannot burn the fire of consciousness. Krishna says in the Gita, neither can any weapon destroy me, nor can any fire burn me. This is not a dogma, it is an experience. But to have this experience, you must be willing to die to your past, to your ego, every single moment. Most people are absent from their own lives. You exist absently, and that is the core of all suffering. You are so identified with your roles. I am a husband, I am a doctor, I am a Hindu, I am an American, that you have forgotten the simple existence that you are. These labels are going to die. The Hindu will die, the doctor will die, the husband will die, but the you that is behind all these labels is eternal. In the Bardo, all your labels will be stripped away. You will be naked consciousness, facing the infinite. If you have spent your whole life polishing your labels, you will feel devastated. You will feel like you have lost everything. But if you have spent your life in meditation, discovering the no-mind state, you will feel like you have finally come home. There is a story of a Zen monk who just before dying told his disciples he had hidden firecrackers in his clothes. When they put his body on the funeral pyre, instead of a somber ceremony, there was a display of fireworks. He wanted his death to be a celebration, a dance, a joy, because that was his teaching. Life is a celebration, and death is its ultimate crescendo. What is your firecracker? What is the joy you are bringing to your life right now? Are you living in a way that your death will be a celebration? Or are you living in a way that your death will be a tragedy? This is a question you must answer for yourself. Write your thoughts in the comments. Let us inspire each other to live more fully, more consciously. Tantra is affirmational. It says, accept whatsoever you are. Don't fight with your energies. Use them. Even your fear of death can be used as a turning inwards. Don't make it an obsession, but let the awareness that death is there help you to be more meditative. Use the neutral gear of your breath. Use the gap between your thoughts. The Tibetans say that the Bardo is a time of great opportunity, because in the Bardo, you are free from the limitations of the physical body. You can achieve in a moment what might take years of meditation in a body. But you need the knack. You need to know how to recognize the light. You need to know how to say yes to the whole existence. A real theist is one who has said yes to everything, even to death. If death comes, he will not close his door. He will keep his doors open and say, welcome, you are also a form of the divine. You are also a wave in the cosmic ocean. When you can say yes to death, you have become immortal. Because only that which can be killed is afraid. That which cannot be killed has no reason to fear. The journey we are taking through the Bardo Thodol is not just an intellectual exercise. It is a transmission of a certain energy, a certain silence that has been preserved for centuries in the Himalayas. This is why I say, don't just listen to the words, listen to the gaps between the words. In those gaps you will find the Bardo. In those gaps you will find your own original face. And the more you familiarize yourself with that silence, the more you will be at ease when the final silence comes. Death will not be a stranger to you. It will be like an old friend coming to take you to a larger room. This is the ultimate freedom, the first and the last. To be free from the fear of death is to be free from all bondage. It is to be a master of your own destiny. We are going to continue this exploration, moving deeper into the stages of the visions and the secrets of rebirth. Stay with me, because this is the most important journey you will ever take. So as we cross the threshold of the physical and enter the first stage, the Chikhai Bardo, we are entering the territory of the neutral gear. Shiva in the Book of Secrets explains that between two breaths there is a gap. In that gap, you are neither breathing in nor breathing out. In that gap, you are simply a witness. Death is a magnification of that gap. When the old breath has gone out and the new breath does not come in, for few moments you are in the ultimate gap. This is what the Tibetans call the dawning of the primary clear light. It is a light that does not come from any sun or moon. It is the light of your own consciousness, finally stripped of the clouds of the body and the mind. If you have spent your life in meditation, if you have practiced being the watcher on the hills, you will recognize this light instantly. You will not see it as something outside of you. You will see it as yourself. You will realize, I am this light. I am this infinite, unbounding radiance. And the moment this recognition happens, you are liberated. You don't need to go further into the Bardo. You don't need to see the deities or face the demons. You have reached the goal. You have become the ocean. This is the goal of all the Buddhas. To die so consciously that the cycle of birth and death is broken forever. But for most of you, the experience is quite different, because you have lived in fear, because you have lived in attachment. The moment the clear light appears, you are blinded. It is too much brilliance. It is like an owl looking at the sun. You have lived in the darkness of your ego for so long that the light of truth feels like an enemy. You shrink back. You go into a swoon, a state of deep unconsciousness. The Bardo Thodol says that for about 3.5 days, you remain in this shock, this deep sleep. You are hovering near your body, but you are not aware of it. You are in a dreamless state, but it is not the dreamless state of a Buddha. It is the dreamless state of a person who has fainted from fear. This is why your life right now is so precious. Every moment of awareness you build today is an investment in that final moment. If you can learn to stay awake while you are falling asleep at night, you are training yourself for the Chikhai Bardo. If you can stay aware when a great pain comes or when a great joy comes, you are practicing for that flash of clear light. This is the real purpose of my work, to create a Buddha field, a space where you can practice this awareness. If you feel that this work is important, if you want to help this flame reach more people, I invite you to click the join button and become a member of our community. Your support helps us provide these teachings to seekers around the world. You can also use super thanks to show your gratitude for these insights. And if you are looking for practical techniques to use in your daily life, do check out the ebooks available in the description. They are manuals for this very transformation we are discussing. After the 3.5 days of swoon, the consciousness wakes up and the second stage begins. The Choniyat Bardo, the Bardo of the experiencing of reality. This is where the movie starts. Because you missed the clear light, your mind now starts to project its own contents onto the screen of existence. For the next 14 days, you will see visions. For the first 7 days, they are peaceful deities, beautiful radiant beings, surrounded by rainbows, singing celestial music. They represent the pure qualities of your own heart. They are not external gods coming to save you. They are the reflections of your own inner potential. The Bardo Thodol tells you, O nobly born, these are your own projections. Do not be afraid. Do not be seduced. Merge with them, for they are you. But here is the challenge. Alongside these brilliant, blinding lights of the deities, there are also dim lights. A dim white light, a dim blue light, a dim yellow light. These dim lights are comfortable. They feel like the world you just left. They are the doors to the 6 realms of samsara. Because you are afraid of the brilliance of the peaceful deities, you are naturally drawn to the dim lights. You want to hide in a womb. You want to have a body again. You want to return to the familiar misery of human life, because the infinite freedom of the divine feels too vast, too scary. The guide sitting by your body, if you are lucky enough to have one, will keep shouting in your ear, do not go toward the dim lights. They are the paths to the animal realm, the hell realm, the ghost realm. Go toward the brilliant light, even if it feels like it will dissolve you. That dissolution is your freedom. But if you have not practiced letting go in your life, you will find it impossible to let go in the Bardo. If you have been a person who clutched at money, at power, at relationships, you will clutch at the dim lights. You will miss the peaceful deities, just as you missed the clear light. And then come the next 7 days, the wrathful deities. They are terrifying. They have many heads, many arms. They drink blood. They are surrounded by fire. They look like monsters from your worst nightmares. But the secret of the Tibetan Book of the Dead is this: they are the same peaceful deities, just seen through the eyes of your fear. If you cannot accept the beauty of the truth will look ugly to you. If you have suppressed your anger, your lust, your violence during your life, these suppressed energies will take the form of these wrathful deities. They will chase you. They will try to devour you. But the guide reminds you they are only your own minds. They have no power over you unless you give it to them. Stand your ground, witness them, laugh at them. If you can laugh at the wrathful deities, they will instantly transform back into the peaceful deities, and those deities will dissolve into the clear light. This is the neck. This is why I say that the most religious thing in the world is a sense of humor. If you can laugh at your own mind, you are enlightened. If you can laugh at your own fear, death has no sting. Think about your life right now. Are you living in a way that creates peaceful visions or wrathful ones? If your mind is full of conflict, jealousy, and judgment, you are preparing a very difficult Bardo for yourself. You are the architect of your own afterlife. There is no God sitting there to judge you. You are the judge and you are the executioner. You are creating your own heaven and your own hell every single day. If you are enjoying this exploration of the inner world, don't forget to like this video and share it. It is a way to spread the fragrance of meditation. And if you want to dive deeper into the science of the mind, becoming a member through the join button gives you access to more detailed discourses. Your contributions through super thanks are also deeply appreciated, as they keep this channel independent and free from the noise of the marketplace. Also, our ebooks are a great resource for anyone who wants to make meditation a part of their breathing. The Chonid Bardo is a test of your no mind. In the Heart Sutra, Buddha says, Gate gate paragate parsamgate bodhi swaha. Gone, gone, gone beyond, gone altogether beyond. This going beyond is what is required in the Bardo. You must go beyond the beautiful visions and you must go beyond the terrifying visions. You must realize that both are money, the diamond, hidden in the Padma, the lotus. The visions are the lotus, your witnessing is the diamond. If you can stay with the diamond, you are home. But the pull of the past is strong. The mind is a desert, and it hankers for the oasis of a body. You start to feel naked. You start to feel lonely. You miss the warmth of the blood, the solidness of the bones. You want a house to live in. And so, the third stage begins, the Siddhpa Bardo, the Bardo of seeking rebirth. Now you are no longer seeing deities, you are seeing your future. You are seeing couples making love. You are seeing different colored lights that represent different types of wombs. Your karma, the momentum of your past desires, is now pulling you like a magnet. You don't choose your next life with your intelligence. You are pulled into it by your lust and your attachments. If you were a person driven by greed, you will be pulled toward a womb that will provide the opportunity for more greed. If you were a person of love, you will be drawn to a womb of love. But even here, the Bardo Thodol gives you a chance. It says, even at this late stage, you can close the door to the womb. How do you close the door? By meditation. By looking at the couples with compassion and love rather than with lust or jealousy. If you can stay neutral, if you can say this too is a dream, the momentum of karma is broken. You can choose to remain in the Bardo as a bodhisattva, one who is ready for enlightenment but chooses to wait to help others. Or you can choose a conscious birth. You can wait for the right parents, the right environment, where your spiritual journey can continue without being lost in the darkness of a worldly life. This is why birth as a human being is considered so rare and so precious. It is the only realm where you have enough suffering to want to wake up and enough intelligence to know how. The gods are too drunk on their pleasure to bother with meditation. The animals are too lost in their biology. Only the human being stands on the bridge between the animal and the divine. The Bardo is the moment where that bridge is most visible. I want to ask you, if you were to die this very moment, which of your desires would be the strongest? What would be the hook that would pull you back? Reflect on this. Write it in the comments if you feel brave enough. Bringing these hidden desires into the light of consciousness is the first step toward dissolving them. When you name a ghost, it loses its power. When you understand a desire, it starts to lose its grip on you. Tantra says, do not fight your desires. If you fight, you give them more energy. Instead, bring awareness to them. Watch them. See how they arise, how they stay for a while, and how they disappear. If you can watch your desires while you are alive, you will be able to watch them in the Siddhpa Bardo, and that watching is your protection. It is your shield. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is a masterpiece of psychological insight. It knows that in the end, we are all beggars for attention. We want to be someone. We want to be seen. We want to exist. But meditation is the art of being nobody. It is the art of being empty. As I say in the Heart Sutra, the fragrance of nothingness is the ultimate experience. When you are truly empty, there is no hook for karma to catch. You become like the wind. You pass through the world, but nothing sticks to you. This is the state we are aiming for. Not a state of being dead, but a state of being so alive that death becomes irrelevant. A person who has experienced no mind already knows what it is to be without a body, without a name, without a history. For such a person, the Bardo is just a change of clothes. There is no fear, because there is nothing to lose. You have already given up everything that death can take away. As we move forward in our journey, we will explore the mystery of beyond enlightenment. We will see what happens when even the idea of being a Buddha is dropped. We will see the ultimate black hole of the spirit, where all stars disappear, only to be born again as something inconceivable. This is the true pilgrimage, the great pilgrimage from here to here. You don't have to go anywhere. You just have to wake up to where you already are. Stay with me. Don't let your mind wander. This is the most critical part of our meditation together. In the next part, we will look at the practical techniques for conscious rebirth and how to help others who are in the Bardo. This knowledge is a sacred trust. It is the highest form of compassion you can offer to another human being. Before we continue, remember to check your heart. Is it open? Is it silent? If you feel a deep sense of peace, then you are ready. If not, take a deep breath. Feel the neutral gear between the inhalation and the exhalation. That is your anchor. That is your home. We have been speaking about the transition, about the neutral gear of the breath, and the various stages of the Bardo. But now let us move even deeper into the mystery of what it means to go beyond. The Heart Sutra says gat gat paragat parsangat bodhi swaha. Gone, gone, gone beyond, gone altogether beyond. Oh, what an awakening! This is not just a mantra to be chanted, it is the very map of the Sitpa Bardo, the third stage where the soul prepares to enter a new womb. When you are in that intermediate stage, hovering between the death of the old and the birth of the new, you are in a state of beyondness. You have left the shore of the known, but you have not yet reached the shore of the unknown. You are in the middle of the ocean. Most people in this state become extremely anxious. The anxiety is so great because the mind cannot find anything to hold on to. In life, you have your house, your bank balance, your family, your reputation. These are all anchors. But in the Sitpa Bardo, there are no anchors. You are just a wisp of consciousness, a pure energy field. And because you are so used to being somebody, being nobody feels like a death sentence. But I say to you, only when you are nobody can you be free. This is the fragrance of nothingness that Buddha speaks of. If you can learn to love this nothingness while you are alive, if you can sit in silent meditation and feel your boundaries dissolving, then the Sitpa Bardo will not be a place of fear for you. It will be a place of immense freedom. Think about the black hole in the universe. Scientists tell us that a black hole is a place where gravity is so strong that even light cannot escape. Anything that enters a black hole is crushed into nothingness. But I have a different vision. I say that a black hole is only one side of the story. On the other side, it is a white hole. What disappears as matter in the black hole is reborn as pure light in the white hole. Death is your personal black hole. If you resist it, if you fight against the gravitational pull of the void, you suffer. But if you relax, if you say yes to the nothingness, you pass through the black hole and are born again, perhaps in this world, perhaps in another dimension, with a higher consciousness. This is why I insist on the join button on our channel. It is not just a way to support a video. It is a way to create a community of people who are willing to look into the black hole together. When you become a member, you are saying that you value this inner exploration more than the trivialities of the marketplace. You are helping to build an academy of sciences and arts, totally devoted to life and to enhancing life. Your support through super things is a gesture of gratitude to existence itself for providing us with these maps of the soul. And if you want to practice these techniques of going beyond in your daily life, I highly recommend our ebooks. They contain the distilled essence of thousands of years of mystical wisdom, translated into a language that your modern mind can understand. In the Sitpa Bardo, you will see visions of the 6 realms. The Tibetans describe these realms with great precision. First, there is the realm of the Devas, the gods. It is a place of light, of pleasure, of celestial music. If your karma is very white, very pure, you will be drawn to this light. But the Bardo Thodol warns, do not be deceived by the pleasure of the gods. Even the gods must eventually die and return to the cycle of rebirth. This is still part of the prison. Then there is the realm of the Asuras, the Titans. These are beings of great power, but also great jealousy and ego. If you spend your life competing, fighting for power, and wanting to be superior to others, you will be drawn to this realm. You will see visions of battles and grand architectures, and you will feel an irresistible urge to join the fray. Then there is the human realm, the realm we are in now. It is represented by soft blue light. The Tibetans say this is the most balanced realm because it contains both pleasure and pain in equal measure. It is the only realm from which enlightenment is truly possible, because the suffering is enough to make you search, and the intelligence is enough to find the way. Then there are the lower realms, the animal realm, characterized by a dim green light of ignorance and instinct. The Preta realm, the realm of hungry ghosts filled with unquenchable desire. And finally, the hell realms, the realm of intense suffering and darkness. The secret of the Bardo is that these realms are not places you go to. They are states of your own consciousness. If you are angry right now, you are already in a hell realm. If you are full of lust and greed, you are already a hungry ghost. If you are lost in your biological instincts, you are in the animal realm. Death simply removes the physical body and allows these inner states to become your total reality. This is why meditation is so urgent. You must purify your consciousness now, so that when you enter the Siddha Bardo, you are not pulled toward the dark and dim lights. I want to hear your thoughts. Which of these realms do you feel you are living in most of the time? Are you a god, a titan, a ghost, or a human? Write it in the comments below. Let us be honest with ourselves. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. When you acknowledge your state, you can begin to move beyond it. I read every comment because I want to know where you are on your pilgrimage. The Bardo Thodol gives a very specific technique for closing the door to the womb. It says that when you see the visions of couples making love, you will feel a pull. If you are to be born as a man, you will feel attracted to the woman and jealous of the man. If you are to be born as a woman, it will be the reverse. This is the moment of your entrapment. The book says, "O nobly born, do not enter." Think of these beings as the divine forms of the Buddha and his consort. Feel only love and compassion, but do not feel desire. If you can stay as a witness, the womb will close and you will be liberated. This is the ultimate mastery of the ego. It is the ability to see the most basic biological drive, the drive for sex, and remain untouched by it. This is why Tantra uses sex as a meditation. If you can be aware in the act of love while you are in a body, you can be aware in the act of birth while you are in the bardo. This is the Jorba, the Buddha vision. We do not deny the body. We use the body as a laboratory to discover that which is beyond the body. We do not deny the earth. We use the earth as a platform to reach for the stars. Tibet was a country that lived this vision for 2000 years. Every family gave at least one son to the monastery. They knew that one person's awakening helps the whole family's karma. They were not interested in building empires or accumulating gold. They were interested in building the inner palace. When the materialist world invaded Tibet, it was not just a political event, it was a tragedy for the whole of humanity. It was the destruction of the only library of the soul that the world possessed. But the truth cannot be killed. It may be suppressed, but it will rise again, perhaps through you, as you listen to these words. I want you to try a technique from the Book of Secrets tonight. As you lie in bed, visualize your body as being empty, like a bamboo. Feel the energy flowing through this empty space. And then imagine a small, radiant flame at the center of your heart. See this flame growing brighter and brighter until it fills your whole being and spills out into the room. This is the money in the Padme, the diamond in the lotus. If you can fall asleep in this visualization, your sleep will become a meditation. You will be practicing the art of dying while you are still very much alive. If you find this path inspiring, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Your engagement helps us bypass the algorithms of the mind and reach the hearts of seekers. And if you want to support us more deeply, clicking the join button or using super thanks is a beautiful way to participate in this work. Every contribution, no matter how small, is like a drop of oil in the lamp of consciousness. And don't forget to look at our ebooks for more detailed guides on these meditations. In the Heart Sutra, it is said, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. This is the ultimate synthesis. We are not trying to escape the world. We are trying to realize that the world is the divine. When you look at a tree, don't just see wood and leaves. See the emptiness that allows the tree to exist. When you look at a person, don't just see a name and a face. See the infinite void that is looking through those eyes. When you can see the emptiness in the form, you are ready for the Bardo. Because when the form disappears at death, you will not be afraid. You will already be familiar with the emptiness that remains. Most people live in a state of personality. But personality is something you put together from the opinions of others. You are a beggar for attention because you don't know your authentic self. You want people to look at you, to praise you, to recognize you, because without their attention, you feel like you don't exist. But I say to you, your authentic self does not depend on anyone else. It is there in the silence between two thoughts. It is there in the gap between two breaths. It is the individuality that is original, that is not a copy. In the Sitpa Bardo, your personality will be stripped away. If you have spent your life building a persona, you will feel like you are being flayed alive. But if you have spent your life discovering your individuality, you will feel like a burden has been lifted. You will be naked and you will be beautiful. The Tibetans say that the mental body in the Bardo is extremely intelligent. It can see through all the lies you told yourself in life. It is a time of absolute honesty. This is why death is the greatest mirror. It shows you who you really are. If you were a person of greed, you will see a world of scarcity. If you were a person of love, you will see a world of abundance. This is the meaning of karma. Karma is not a punishment from a god. It is the natural consequence of your state of being. You carry your atmosphere with you wherever you go. I have seen many people who are tired of sin and want to come into the temple as the sign on the church says. But I say, don't be tired of sin, be tired of unconsciousness. Sin is just another word for being asleep. When you are awake, there is no sin, because you cannot harm yourself or others when you are in a state of love. And when you are asleep, even your virtue is a form of sin, because it comes from your ego. The Bardo Thodol is not a moralistic book. It is a book of awareness. It doesn't tell you to be good. It tells you to be awake. Let us look at the 7 temples of man. The first temple is the physical body. It is the foundation. If you neglect the body, you cannot reach the higher temples. But if you get stuck in the body, you are living in the basement of your own house. The second temple is the psychological, the emotions, the mind. The third is the spiritual. Most people don't even reach the second temple. They spend their whole lives in the basement, eating, sleeping, and reproducing. But you have a ladder with 7 rungs. The Bardo is the moment where the ladder becomes visible. The 5th temple is the temple of the no mind. This is where the fragrance of nothingness begins. The 6th is the temple of enlightenment. And the seventh is the beyond. It is what Manisa asked me about. It is the place where even the Buddha disappears. It is the great pilgrimage from here to here. You don't have to go anywhere to reach it. You just have to be totally present in this very moment. If you can be totally present, then death cannot touch you. Because death only happens in time. It happens to the past and it happens to the future. But the present moment is eternal. It is the vertical dimension. Most people live in the horizontal dimension of time, past, present, future. But the meditator lives in the vertical dimension of here-ness and now-ness. In this vertical dimension, there is no birth and there is no death. There is only life, infinite, overflowing, celebrating itself. I want you to take a moment right now. Close your eyes. Feel the weight of your body on the chair. Feel the air touching your skin. And then look inside. Look for the one who is feeling. Look for the witness. Can you find it? It has no shape, no color, no name. It is just a silent awareness. This silent awareness is the one who will travel through the Bardo. This is the one who will face the clear light. Make friends with this witness. Talk to it. Listen to it. It is your only true companion. Tantra says, Radiant One, this experience may dawn between two breaths, after breath is in and just before turning out, the beneficence. This small gap is the door to the Bardo. If you can find this gap, you have found the secret of life. You don't need to read 1,000 books. You just need to find the gap. In that gap, you are a Buddha. In that gap, you are beyond enlightenment. We are living in a very dangerous time. The politicians are leading us toward a global suicide. They are obsessed with power, with Titan's energy. We need a different climate, a climate of meditation, of silence, of love. We need more Zorbas who can dance and more Buddhas who can sit in silence. We need a new man who is a synthesis of the two. This channel is a small effort to create that new climate. When you support us through join or super thanks, you are participating in this global transformation. You are helping to keep the flame of consciousness alive in a world that is going mad. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is the evidence that man can reach the ultimate height. It is the evidence that we are not just biological machines. We are nomads of the spirit, traveling from star to star, from body to body, until we finally find our home in the infinite. And that home is not a place in the sky, it is your own heart. It is the diamond in the lotus. As we continue this journey, we will explore the mystery of sound and silence. We will look at why the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum is the most famous mantra in the world. We will see how sound can be used as a bridge to the silence of the Bardo. Don't go anywhere. Stay with me in this silence. The journey is just beginning.
Check out our ebooks in the description if you want to bring these meditations into your home. They are designed to be your companions on this great pilgrimage. And remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any part of this transmission.
We are moving into the heart of the mystery now. Let us move together as one consciousness, as one love. The Bardo is not a destination. It is a transformation. It is the fire that burns the dross and leaves only the gold. And you are that gold. You have always been that gold. You just forgot. I am here to remind you. I am here to wake you up. Oh, what an awakening it will be. I want to remind you that the intangible breath is always with you. Even as you are working, as you are walking, as you are talking, keep a part of your awareness on that subtle energy. It is the thread that connects you to the divine. It is the thread that will guide you through the labyrinths of the Sitpa Bardo. If you can hold on to this thread, you will never be lost. You will always be home. Let us sit for a few moments in silence. Let the words dissolve. Let the thoughts settle. Just be. In this just being, you are already in the Bardo. You are already beyond. You are already free. And as you sit in that silence, listening to the very heart of your own existence, a sound begins to emerge. It is not a sound created by anything. It is the sound of existence itself. The Tibetans call it the music of Om. This is the mani, the diamond, vibrating in the Padme, the lotus. Manisa, the only country in the world which has devoted all its genius to the inner exploration, is Tibet. Its findings are of tremendous value. Om Mani Padme Hum is one of the most beautiful expressions for the ultimate experience. It means the sound of silence, the diamond in the lotus. Silence also has its sound, its music, although the outer ears cannot hear it. Just as you have 6 outer senses to experience the world, you have 6 inner senses to experience the Bardo. You cannot touch the inner reality with your hands, but your inner senses are absolutely immersed in it. This is what you must realize as you face the visions of the Chonid Bardo. The sound you hear, the lights you see, they are all vibrations of the Om. If you can recognize this, if you can say, this sound is my own sound, this silence is my own silence, then the deities, both peaceful and wrathful, will lose their form and dissolve into the music of the spheres. This is the secret of the Tibetan masters. They don't fight the visions, they harmonize with them. They become the music. In the Bardo, you are like a musical instrument. If you are tuned to fear, you will play a discordant melody. If you are tuned to awareness, you will play the song of the Buddha. This realization is why I am so insistent on creating an academy of sciences and arts totally devoted to life and to enhancing life. We need a place where the art of dying is taught as a supreme science. I cannot think of what more humanitarian purpose there can be than this. When I say this is going to happen, I am not saying it. I am simply a vehicle for existence. I know perfectly well that when it comes from my absolute nothingness, it is a message from existence itself. If you feel called to be part of this vision, if you want to support the creation of this new humanity, clicking the join button is your way of standing with me. Your support through super thanks is not just a donation, it is an investment in the consciousness of the planet. And for those who want to study these inner sciences in detail, my ebooks provide the necessary manuals. They are the textbooks for the school of the soul. One of the greatest obstacles you will face in the Bardo is your deep-rooted frailty of seeking attention. Prem Kabir once asked me, "Why am I such a beggar for attention?" It is because you do not know yourself. It is only in other people's eyes that you can see your face. In their opinions, you find your personality. What they say matters immensely to you. If they neglect you, you feel lost. You have put together a personality that is very artificial and arbitrary. In the Bardo, there are no others to give you attention. There is no one to praise you, no one to criticize you, no one to look at you. You are utterly alone. If you are a beggar for attention, this loneliness will feel like a literal death. You will be so desperate for someone to look at you that you will jump into the first womb you see just to be somebody again. To be a master of the Bardo, you must discover your authentic self, which does not depend on anybody's opinion, attention, or indifference. This authentic self is what stays with you when everything else is gone. It is the individuality that I speak of in the great pilgrimage. While the personality is a social mask, individuality is your original face. In meditation, you are practicing being alone. You are practicing being a nobody. If you can enjoy your own company in the silence of your room, you will be able to enjoy your own company in the vastness of the Bardo. You will no longer be a beggar. You will be a king in the kingdom of your own soul. Let us try another technique from the Book of Secrets to help you find this inner fire. Shiva says, "Focus on fire rising through your form from the toes up until the body burns to ashes, but not you." This is not just a visualization, it is a profound truth. Close your eyes and feel the fire. Start at the toes. Feel them melting, burning, turning into smoke. Move up through the ankles, the calves, the knees. Feel the fire consuming the thighs, the hips, the torso, your organs, your heart, your lungs, all turning to S. Move up through the arms, the neck, the head. Now see the pile of white S on the floor, and then look who is the one watching the S. That watcher cannot be burned. That watcher is the money, the diamond. If you can do this meditation every day, then when death comes with its real fire, you will simply smile. You will say, I have seen this before. The S is there, but I am here. This is the state of Zorba the Buddha. A Zorba enjoys the fire of life, the food, the dance, the love, but a Buddha knows the fire that does not burn. We need both. I don't want you to be a dry, shriveled monk who is afraid of life. I want you to be a Zorba who can drink the wine of existence, but who is also a Buddha who can remain silent in the center of the party. If you are a Zorba the Buddha, the Bardo will be your greatest dance. You will move through the visions with grace, knowing that you are both the dancer and the dance. If you are finding these techniques transformative, please hit the like button and share this video. The more people who learn the art of conscious dying, the less fear there will be in the world. And fear is the root of all violence. By clicking join or using super thanks, you are helping us reach those who are currently lost in the darkness of their own ego. Also check out our ebooks for a collection of over 100 meditation techniques that will help you find your neutral gear in any situation. In the Heart Sutra, Avalokita looks down from on high and sees that the 5 heaps of our being are empty. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. This is the ultimate synthesis. When you look at the wrathful deities in the Bardo, remember their form is emptiness. When you look at the peaceful deities, remember their form is emptiness. And when you look at the clear light, remember that emptiness is the source of all form. This realization takes away the sting of the experience. It becomes a picture show. You are the projectionist, the audience, and the screen all at once. Tibet has been a laboratory for this realization. Its people have lived in the harshest conditions, yet they have produced the most blissful mystics. Why? Because they realize that the outer world is just a padme, a lotus that will eventually wither. They put all their energy into the money, the diamonds. When the Dalai Lama had to flee Tibet, he didn't carry gold or jewels. He carried the transmission of the Bardo. He carried the science of the soul. This is what the world needs now. We have enough technology to destroy the planet 10 times over. What we need is the technology of the heart. The Bardo Thodol says that in the Sitpa Bardo, you will be tempted by soft lights, a soft white light for the gods, a soft red light for the titans, a soft blue light for humans. These lights are like the neon signs of a red light district. They are trying to lure you into a womb. They promise you comfort. They promise you safety. They promise you a new identity. But they are traps. If you enter the soft white light, you will be born as a god, and you will waste thousands of years in mindless pleasure, only to fall back into the lower realms when your merit is exhausted. If you enter the soft blue light, you will be born as a human, and you will have to go through the whole struggle of school, work, marriage, and death all over again. The only way out is through the brilliant light. The light that is so bright it hurts your eyes. The light that feels like it will annihilate you. That is the door to the beyond. In the Heart Sutra, this is the Paragate, the gone beyond. To go beyond means to drop the desire to be somebody. It means to be willing to be a no thing. This is the most difficult thing for the ego. The ego wants to survive at any cost. It would rather be a beggar in a human womb than a king in the infinite void. But I tell you, the void is your home. The void is where you came from, and the void is where you are going. Don't be afraid of it. It is the beneficence that Shiva speaks of. I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt a moment of nothingness in your life? Perhaps in a moment of great shock, or in a deep meditation, or in the middle of a beautiful sunset. What did it feel like? Was it scary, or was it peaceful? Write your experience in the comments. Your stories help others realize that these states are not just theoretical. They are part of our natural human potential. I read every comment because each one is a record of a soul's journey toward the light. The Bardo Thodol is a guide for the great pilgrimage from here to here. It is telling you that you don't have to travel anywhere to find God. God is not at the end of the journey, God is the journey itself. And the journey is happening right now. in this breath, if you can be aware of the intangible breath in the center of your forehead, as Siva suggests, you are already on the path. That intangible breath is the bridge to the Bardo. It is the thread of light that will guide you when the physical world disappears. Remember, the personality is a gift of society. It is useful for the marketplace, but it is useless for the Bardo. In the Bardo, your individuality is what matters. Individuality means that which cannot be divided. It is your core. It is the part of you that was never born and will never die. My work here is to help you peel away the layers of the personality so that the individuality can shine through. It is like peeling an onion. You peel one layer, then another, and in the end, what remains? Nothing. But that nothingness is the whole point. That nothingness is the diamond. When I speak about the Academy of Sciences and Arts, I am talking about a place where we can teach people how to peel their own onions. A place where we can teach the fragrance of nothingness. This is the only hope for the new man. The old man is a personality man. He is a man of labels, a man of masks. The new man will be an individuality man. He will be a man of truth, a man of silence. He will be a Zorba the Buddha. Supporting this channel is your way of being a pioneer for this new man. When you click join, you are becoming a citizen of this new world. When you use super things, you are helping to build the foundations of the academy. And when you read our ebooks, you are educating yourself for the ultimate exam. Don't be a student of the mind, be a student of the heart. The mind is a desert, but the heart is a garden. And in that garden, the lotus of the Bardo is already blooming. Let us look at the concept of nirvana. Most people think nirvana is a place, a heaven, where you go after you die. But nirvana simply means blowing out the candle. It is the cessation of the ego. When the I is blown out, what remains? The whole existence remains. You are no longer a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop. This is the goal of the Bardo Thodol, to help you blow out the candle at the most auspicious moment. In the next part of our journey, we will talk about the three bodies of the Buddha and how they relate to the stages of the Bardo. We will explore the mystery of the Nirmanakaya, the Sambhogakaya, and the Dharmakaya. These are not just technical terms. They are descriptions of the different levels of reality you will encounter. We will also talk about how to help a loved one who has already passed away through the power of Bardo meditation. Stay in this silence. Don't let the mind pull you back into the yakti-yak of daily life. This moment is sacred. You are facing the mystery of your own eternity. I am with you. The Buddhas of all the ages are with you. The clear light is already shining. You just have to open your eyes. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Your engagement is the fuel for this transmission. And if you feel a deep gratitude, express it through the join or super thanks buttons. Let us continue the pilgrimage from here to here. The money is vibrating. Can you hear it? Om, Om, Om. And as you deepen your connection with that inner sound of Om, you will begin to perceive the three dimensions of your own existence, which the Tibetans call the three bodies of the Buddha. These are not abstract theological concepts. They are the very layers of the Bardo you will navigate. The first is the Dharmakaya, the body of truth. This is the primary clear light we spoke of, the absolute nothingness that is also the absolute fullness. When you are in the Dharmakaya, you are one with the universe. There is no I, no you, only the isness. If you can recognize this in the first moments of death, you have attained the ultimate. You have gone beyond enlightenment into the tremendous nothingness that is the womb of all existence. The second is the Sambhogakaya, the body of bliss. This is the realm of the peaceful and wrathful deities. It is the dimension where your consciousness is still carrying the fragrance of your individuality, experiences the archetypal energies of life. It is a realm of light, sound, and color. If you miss the Dharmakaya, the Sambhogakaya is your second chance. It is where you learn that even the most terrifying vision is just a vibration of bliss that you have misinterpreted through your fear. And the third is the Nirmanakaya, the body of manifestation. This is the realm of rebirth, the Siddhpa Bardo, where you take on a new form to continue your work. I want you to understand that you are already all three of these bodies. You are a physical manifestation. You are a field of blissful energy. And at your very core, you are the absolute truth. Meditation is the process of traveling through these bodies while you are still alive. When you sit in silence and watch your body, you are moving from the Nirmanakaya to the Sambhogakaya. When the thoughts stop and you disappear into the gap, you are touching the Dharmakaya. This is why I say that my work is to help you become a new man, one who is comfortable in all three bodies, a man who can enjoy the earth as a Jhorba and the sky as a Buddha. To support this vision, we are building a global movement, a Buddha field that transcends all borders. When you click the join button on this channel, you are not just becoming a subscriber, you are becoming a part of this field. You are helping us create the conditions for the birth of a new kind of human being. Your contributions through super thanks are vital for keeping this transmission pure and accessible to everyone, regardless of their financial situation. And if you feel the need for a more structured approach to your meditation, our ebooks offer a vast library of techniques, over 100 methods from the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra and other traditions that will help you navigate your own inner Bardo every day. Now let us talk about a very important aspect of the Bardo Thodol. How to help someone else who is dying. This is the highest form of compassion. When someone you love is facing the end, the most important thing you can give them is not your tears, but your silence. Your grief is a form of attachment. It pulls the dying person back toward the earth. It makes their transition more difficult. Instead of crying, sit by their side in deep meditation. Create an atmosphere of peace and celebration. If the person is open to it, you can read the Bardo Thodol to them. Even if they seem to be in a coma, their inner ears can still hear. Speak to them with love and authority. Say, "O nobly born, do not be afraid. This dissolution you feel is the dawning of the clear light. It is your own home. Do not cling to your body. Do not cling to us. We are all waves in the same ocean. Go into the light." By doing this, you are acting as a midwife for their soul. You are helping them to be born into the eternal. This is what I mean by being a friend. A friend is one who helps you to be yourself and who helps you to die consciously. In the West, death is hidden away in hospitals, surrounded by machines and chemicals. It is treated like a failure of medicine. But in the Tibetan vision, death is the crescendo of life. It is the most beautiful moment of all, if you know how to witness it. We must bring this wisdom back to the world. We must transform our graveyards into gardens of meditation. I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever felt that you were guiding someone, or perhaps felt a presence guiding you during a difficult time? These Bardo moments happen even in life, when one chapter ends and another has not yet begun. Share your stories. When we speak about these things openly, we break the taboo of death. We make it a part of our shared human experience. I read every word you write, for in your words I see the blossoming of your awareness. In the Heart Sutra, Buddha says that there is no old age and no death, and also no extinction of old age and death. This sounds like a paradox, doesn't it? But it is the ultimate truth. On the level of the Dharmakaya, nothing ever changes. There is no birth, so there can be no death. The no death is your original nature. But to experience this, you must go beyond the personality, which is always afraid of dying. The personality is a social construct. It is a mask given to you by your parents, your teachers, your society. It is the Victoria Pepelina from the story I told, a name and a form that have no reality. In the Bardo, the mask is stripped away. If you have spent your whole life identifying with the mask, you will feel that you are being destroyed. But if you have practiced individuality, you will realize that only the mask is falling, and that your true face is finally being revealed. My work is to make you an individual, not a personality. An individual is one who is undivided, who is whole, and only the whole can merge with the holy. This is why I invite you to explore the e-books in the description. They are not just books, they are mirrors. They help you to see your own reflection without the mask. They provide the neutral gear techniques that allow you to stand in the center of the cyclone. And when you support us through join or super thanks, you are helping us provide these mirrors to millions of others who are still lost in their masks. You are helping to create a world where death is no longer a shadow but a light. One of the most powerful techniques in the Bardo Thodol is the recognition of the visions. It tells you that whatever you see, whether it is the most beautiful deity or the most terrifying demon, you must say to yourself, "This is the radiance of my own intellect." This is a revolutionary statement. It places the power back in your hands. You are the creator of your own heaven and your own hell. If you can recognize this, you are free. You are no longer a victim of your karma. You are the master of your destiny. Think about your dreams. When you are dreaming, the dream feels absolutely real. You feel the fear, you feel the joy. But the moment you wake up, you realize it was all just your own mind. The Bardo is exactly like that. It is a waking dream. If you can wake up inside the Bardo, as we discussed in the conscious dreaming technique, the movie stops. You realize that the screen was always empty, and in that emptiness, the beneficence of Shiva dance. The money is the diamond that cannot be scratched by any experience. The Padme is the lotus that grows in the mud but remains untouched by it. You are the diamond in the lotus. The world is the mud. The Bardo visions are the mud, but you are the radiance. Don't forget this. Even if you are in the deepest hell realm of the Sitpa Bardo, remember, I am the diamond. This one thought can shatter the walls of any prison. Tantra does not ask you to be a saint. It asks you to be a witness. A saint is just another personality, another mask. But a witness is your original being. A witness can watch the sinner and can watch the saint with the same equanimity. This is the full emptiness that I speak of in the Heart Sutra. It is an emptiness that is full of awareness. It is a silence that is full of music. We are living in a time of great transition. The old world of religions and politics is dying. A new world of spirituality and science is trying to be born. The Bardo Thodol is the bridge between these two worlds. It is an ancient science for a modern humanity. By being here, by listening to these words, you are participating in this birth. You are a pioneer of the beyond. I salute the Buddha within you. You may not be aware of it. You may be fast asleep, but you are a Buddha nonetheless. You are a budding lotus, waiting for the right moment to open. And that moment is now, not tomorrow, not in the Bardo, but this very moment. If you can be aware of the intangible breath right now, The lotus has already begun to open. Remember to hit the like button and share this video. Every time you share this message, you are planting a seed of awareness in the collective consciousness. And if you want to be a gardener in this Buddha field, use the join or super thanks buttons. Your support is the water and the sunlight that allows these seeds to grow. Check out the ebooks for your daily nourishment. Let us move into the next part of our journey, where we will look at the ultimate synthesis, the great synthesis ever. We will see how to bring the silence of the Himalayas into the noise of the marketplace. We will see how to be in the world but not of it. Stay in this silence. The clear light is waiting for you. The sound of Om is rising. Can you feel it in your heart? It is the heartbeat of the universe. It is your own heartbeat. Listen, listen, listen. Listen to that sound. The sound of the heartbeat of existence. It is not just your heart. It is the pulse of the whole universe. And as you listen, you will realize that this sound of Om is the bridge to the greatest synthesis ever. It is going to happen. Nobody can prevent it. And this is the only hope for the new man and the new humanity. We have lived in a world divided between the outer and the inner, between the material and the spiritual. But the Bardo teaches us that these are not two. They are two sides of the same coin. The lotus is the material, the diamond is the spiritual. Together they make Om Mani Padme Hum. There are so many funny and strange questions about the hereafter that will have to wait. But a little laughter in the end will be good. It is the most healthy thing in the world. I am reminded of a little Toyota car that comes to a sudden stop. The girl asks sarcastically, "Have you run out of petrol?" "No, of course not," replies the young man. "Then why have we stopped?" she says. "Well," he says, "you have probably noticed that we are parked in a quiet place in the forest, miles from anywhere. So I thought you might like a discussion about the hereafter." "That's something new," replies the girl. "What do you mean?" "Simple," says the man. "If you are not here after what I am here after, you will be here after I have gone." This is how people usually think of the hereafter. They are only interested in their own small desires, even when they talk about eternity. But the real hereafter is only for those who are here now. If you are not here in this moment, you will not be anywhere after death. Existence only knows the present. The past is a memory, the future is a projection, the Bardo is the ultimate now. It is the moment when all your delays and postponements are finished. You cannot say, I will meditate tomorrow, because in the Bardo there is no tomorrow. There is only the clear light, are the visions of your own mind. This is why I say, be simple, like a small child. As Dostoevsky sows in The Idiot, and as little Ernie sowed the priest who claimed he never told a lie. Give him the dog. We must drop our masks of holiness and become authentic. Authenticity is the only currency that works in the Bardo. If you have been a hypocrite, if you have lived a double life, the Bardo will be a nightmare of conflicting visions. But if you have been simple, if you have been quote unquote selfish in the right way, meaning concerned with your own inner flame, then you will have something to share with the whole existence. Please be concerned with yourself only. Be selfish, I say, because that is the only way you will become selfless. Only a person who has their own light can kindle someone else's flame. If you are empty of light, how can you help others? Helping others is often just a way to avoid yourself. This is why I invite you to join our movement by clicking the join button. It is a way of being selfish for your own growth, while simultaneously supporting the most humanitarian purpose possible. Creating an academy of sciences and arts totally devoted to life and to enhancing life. This academy is the greatest synthesis ever. It will bring together the technology of the West and the meditation of the East. Your support through super thanks and by purchasing our ebooks helps to lay the stones of this academy. We are not just building a physical place, we are building a new consciousness. And your participation is the vital ingredient. The Bardo Thodol mentions that we have 6 senses. In the past, man knew only that we have 5 outer senses. The 6th is the sense of balance, located inside your ears. Just as these 6 senses are used to experience the outer, exactly the same 6 senses exist to experience the inner, to see it, to hear it, to feel its utter balance, its beauty. In the Bardo, these inner senses become your primary way of perceiving. If your inner sense of balance is not developed through meditation, you will feel giddy and lost in the intermediate state. You will be like a drunkard trying to walk a tightrope. Meditation is the training of this inner sense of balance. It is the neutral gear that allows you to remain steady even when the whole world is dissolving around you. In the Heart Sutra, Avalokita looks down from on high and sees that the five heaps of our being, the body, the feelings, the perceptions, the mental formations, and the consciousness, are all empty. This emptiness is not a nothingness in the sense of a lack. It is a full emptiness. It is a womb that is pregnant with all possibilities. When you face the peaceful deities in the Chonid Bardo, they are the fullness. When you face the clear light in the Chikhai Bardo, it is the emptiness. If you can see that they are the same, you are enlightened. You have realized the perfection of wisdom. I want you to try a technique from the Book of Secrets for finding this balance. Sit silently and feel that you are just a witness of your body and mind. Don't judge anything. If a thought comes, watch it. If a pain comes, watch it. And then move your awareness to the point between your two eyebrows, the third eye. Feel a point of light there. As you focus on this point, you will feel a sense of tremendous balance. You will feel that you are centered in your own being. This is the seat of the soul. If you can stay in this center, the Bardo visions will not be able to pull you away. You will be like the sun, and the visions will be like clouds passing by. I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt a moment where you were totally balanced, where nothing could disturb your peace? What was happening in your life at that time? Share it in the comments. When we share these moments of balance, we create a chain reaction of peace. We help others realize that it is possible to be still in the middle of a storm. I read your comments to see the sparks of light that are appearing in your lives. Many people come to the church or the temple because they are tired of sin. But as the scrawled lipstick under the sign said, if not, call 692-3415. People are not really tired of sin. They are tired of their own boredom. They want a new entertainment, and spirituality becomes a new kind of pasta, like the Italian father's daughters in the story. They all want to be someone else, like Sophia Loren or Gina Lollobrigida. One even wants to be Victoria Pepelina, a name that means nothing. This is what your personality is, a Victoria Pepelina. It is a name without a reality. In the Bardo, Victoria Pepelina will disappear. Only your individuality will remain. My work is to help you drop the Victoria Pepelina and find the Buddha within. This is the only hereafter that matters. If you can find the Buddha within right now, then you are already hereafter, and thereafter, and forever after. You have entered the stream of sannyas, the stream of consciousness. This is why our e-books are so important. They are not just for reading, they are for entering the stream. They provide the techniques that help you to stop making ravioli and spaghetti of your mind and start tasting the nectar of your own being. And when you support us through the join button or super thanks, you are helping us to open the gates of this stream to everyone. The Tibetan Book of the Dead warns us about the 5 poisons: anger, pride, lust, jealousy, and ignorance. These are the energies that create the wrathful deities. If you carry these poisons in your heart, you will see them as monsters in the Bardo. But Tantra says, don't repress these poisons, transform them. Anger can be transformed into mirror-like wisdom. Pride can be transformed into the wisdom of equality. Lust can be transformed into the wisdom of discernment. This is the alchemy of the Bardo. If you can recognize your anger as a vision of your own intellect, the monster disappears and the Buddha appears. This is the meaning of surrender is understanding. You don't surrender to a person, you surrender to the truth. You understand that your ego is a lie and you let it go. In the Bardo, this surrender is the only way out. If you try to fight the demons, you are giving them reality. If you surrender to the fact that they are just your own mind, they lose their power. This is the path of intelligence that I talk about in the Heart Sutra. It is not the intelligence of the books, but the intelligence of the heart. The Academy of Sciences and Arts that I am talking about will be a place where this heart intelligence is taught. We will teach people how to be simple like a small child, as Arni was. We will teach them how to tell the truth, even if it means losing the dog. This is the only hope for a world that is drowning in lies and hypocrisy. We need a new kind of human being, a Zorba the Buddha, who is capable of enjoying the earthy pleasures of a Zorba and the silent serenity of a Buddha. This is the qualitatively new way of living that we offer at the Osho International Meditation Resort in Pune. And through this channel, we are bringing that resort to you. When you click like, you are saying yes to this new man. When you subscribe, you are joining the great pilgrimage. When you use the join button, you are becoming a shareholder in the new humanity. And when you use super thanks, You are helping us to reach those who are still caught in the Toyota car version of the hereafter. Our ebooks are your travel guides for this journey. Don't leave home without them. Let us look at the final stage of the Bardo, where the soul prepares for its next step. We have seen the clear light, we have seen the deities, and now we face the reality of the womb. But even here, there is a choice. You can be born into a stinking old Napoli making spaghetti, or you can be born as a bodhisattva to help others wake up. The choice depends on your awareness at the moment of entry. If you can enter the womb consciously, you are already beyond enlightenment. You are gone, gone, gone beyond. Stay in this space of awareness. Feel the money, the diamonds, shining in your heart. Feel the Padme, the lotus, opening its petals to the sun. You are the sound of silence. You are the music of Om. This is the truth, and everything else is a dream. In the next and final part of our journey, we will conclude this greatest synthesis ever. We will see how to live every day as a Bardo, and how to make every breath a celebration of life and death. We will talk about the ultimate chain reaction of light that Buddhas create. Stay with me. The peak of the mountain is in sight. The light is growing brighter. Can you see it? It is the light of your own soul. It is the light that never fails. And that light, my beloved, is not something that belongs to you. It is something that you are. Once you attain your inner flame, a miracle happens. It becomes a succession. It becomes a chain reaction. You may disappear from the body. You may move through the Bardo and dissolve into the infinite, but your flame goes on passing from hand to hand. Up to eternity, it goes on and on. This is the ultimate secret of why Buddhas never die. Enlightened persons never die, because their light has become a part of the cosmic pulse. It is like one candle kindling another, and that candle kindling a third. The first candle may be exhausted, the wax may be gone, but the flame is eternal. But look at the tragedy of the ordinary man. Unenlightened persons never really live, because they cannot create any chain. They don't have any light to share, no flame to kindle someone else's flame. They live as shadows and they die as shadows. This is why I say to you, Please be concerned with yourself only. Be selfish. I know your religions have taught you to be selfless. But how can you be selfless when you don't even have a self yet? Your selflessness is just a mask for your inner poverty. First, attain your inner flame. First, find the money in your Padme. Then and only then can you truly share. Then you become a blessing to the world. Not because you try to help, but because your very existence is a help. This transformation is what we are working on in this global community. When you support us by clicking the join button, you are helping to create a space where this chain reaction of light can happen. You are investing in your own flame so that one day you can kindle others. Your contributions through super thanks are a way of saying yes to this succession of consciousness. And for those who are ready to dive into the practical methods of kindling that flame, our ebooks are the perfect fuel. They are filled with the methods of the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, the very science that Shiva used to explain the reality beyond form. Don't wait for the Bardo to find your light. Find it now so that you can enter the Bardo as a master, not as a victim. In the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, Devi asks Shiva, what constitutes seed? Who centers the universal wheel? These are not philosophical questions. They are the inquiries of a lover who wants to know the how of existence. And Shiva's answer is always a technique. He doesn't give a lecture, he gives a method. One of those methods is to realize that this life beyond form is pervading all forms. When you look at the Bardo visions, you are seeing the forms, but the seed is the emptiness behind them. If you can focus on the seed, the forms lose their power to distract you. You become the center of the universal wheel. Think about a wheel. The spokes are always moving, but the center, the hub, remains still. If you are on the spokes, you are in the world of birth and death, of Bardo and rebirth. You are constantly in motion, constantly tired. But if you move to the hub, to the center, you are in the neutral gear. You are still. The whole universe may rotate around you, but you are untouched. This centering is what meditation is all about. It is the first and last freedom. If you are centered, then the Bardo is just a beautiful rotation of lights. You can enjoy the show because you know you are the hub. I want to hear from you in the comments. Where do you feel your center is right now? Is it in your head, full of spokes and thoughts? Or is it in your heart? Or perhaps deep in your belly? When you bring your awareness to your center, does the world feel different? Share your experiences. By describing our centers, we help each other to find the hub of the universal wheel. I read your comments to see how many of you are moving from the periphery to the center. The Bardo Thodol is a guide for staying in that hub. It tells you that as you move through the intermediate states, you will be tempted to move back to the spokes. The soft lights of the Siddha Bardo are the spokes calling you back. They say, come back to the movement, come back to the drama, come back to the pain and the pleasure. But if you have understood the fragrance of nothingness, you will say, no, I have found the hub. I am the silence that centers the wheel. This is the state of gone, gone, gone beyond. Many people are simply mad in their desire to help others without having helped themselves. They are like blind people trying to lead other blind people. They create more confusion, more mess. Get out of this madness. Just help yourself. That's all that can be done. And then many things happen, but they happen as a consequence. Once you become a source of light, things start happening on their own. People will be enlightened through you. They will attain life, more life, abundant life. But don't think about it. You cannot do anything about it consciously. Only one thing can be done, and that is you can become conscious. Then everything follows. This is the greatest synthesis that I am talking about. It is the synthesis of being and doing. You don't do meditation, you are in meditation. And out of that being, the right doing happens. Supporting this channel through the join button is a way of doing that supports your being. It is a way of participating in a project that is bigger than your own ego. When you use super thanks, you are acknowledging that this light is a collective treasure, and our ebooks are the maps that show you how to be conscious in every action, whether you are making pasta or facing the wrathful deities. Let's look at the concept of the seed again. Shiva says that the seed is the potential of the whole universe. Within a tiny seed, a whole forest is hidden. Within you, a whole Buddha is hidden. The Bardo is the time when the husk of the body is removed and the seed is exposed. If the seed is ripe, meaning if it is conscious, it can choose where to be planted. It can choose to be planted in the white hole of the divine, or it can be planted back in the stinking old Napoli of a worldly womb. To ripen the seed, you need the heat of meditation. You need the fire of awareness that we discussed. If you have burned away your attachments and your unconscious habits, then your seed is ripe. It is no longer a beggar for attention. It is a self-contained unit of light. Such a seed does not need to be reborn. It can remain as a pure vibration of Om. This is the meaning of entering the stream. Once you enter the stream of consciousness, you are carried by the current of existence toward the ocean of the ultimate. The Heart Sutra says that there is no path, no wisdom, and no attainment. This is the most profound statement ever made. It means that the great pilgrimage is from here to here. You don't attain enlightenment. You simply realize that you were always enlightened. You were just having a nightmare that you were a separate, limited ego. The Bardo is the moment when the nightmare becomes most intense, just before you wake up. If you can stay aware in that intensity, you will see through the illusion. You will see that there was never any birth and there will never be any death. I want to share a final technique from the Book of Secrets for this beyondness. Shiva says, as breath turns from down to up, and again as breath curves from up to down, through both these turns, realize, focus on the turning point, not the inhalation, not the exhalation, but the curve. In that split second of turning, there is a total standstill. The engine of life is in neutral. If you can catch that moment, you have caught the Bardo. You have caught the eternity that is hidden in time. Practice this as you walk, as you eat, as you listen to me. Every breath has a turning point. Every life has a turning point. Death is the ultimate turning point. If you can master the small turning points of the breath, you will be a master of the great turning point of death. You will not be a beggar waiting for someone to save you. You will be your own savior. You will be a Zorba the Buddha, enjoying the turns of the dance while remaining still in the center. This is the new humanity we are creating. A humanity that is not afraid of the black hole because it knows the white hole within. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe. We are building a global chain reaction of light, and your energy is a part of it. If you want to take a more active role, click the join button or use super thanks. Every dollar, every euro, every rupee you contribute goes toward creating an academy of sciences and arts totally devoted to life and to enhancing life. This is the most humanitarian purpose possible. And don't forget our ebooks. They are the seeds of your own awakening. Tibet has shown us that even in the most difficult circumstances, the human spirit can reach the peaks of the Himalayas. We don't need to live in a cave to be a Buddha. We can be a Buddha in the marketplace, a Buddha in the office, a Buddha in the pasta factory. As long as we have the money in our Padme, we are fine. The world is just a playground, a Leela. Enjoy it, but don't get lost in it. The sound of Om is the sound of the universe laughing. Can you hear the laughter? It is a belly laugh, a laugh of pure joy. It is the laugh of a Buddha who has seen through the Bardo and realized it was all just a show. Laugh with me, my beloved. Let your laughter be your prayer. Let your joy be your meditation. In the next part, we will move into the final synthesis. We will look at how to live as a nomad of the spirit, always moving, always still. We will talk about the ultimate chain reaction that happens when 1,000 Buddhas sit together in silence. Stay in this space. The pilgrimage is reaching its destination. The seed is ready. The wheel is centered. The Bardo is clear. Oh, what an awakening! And that awakening, my beloved, is the entrance into the ultimate synthesis, the greatest synthesis ever. It is going to happen. Nobody can prevent it. And this is the only hope for the new man and the new humanity. We have traveled through the dark corridors of the Bardo. We have faced the brilliant, clear light, and we have seen the peaceful and wrathful reflections of our own minds. But now we must bring all of this back to the earth, because the Bardo is not just a destination after death, it is a quality of living right now. The greatest synthesis is the meeting of the East and the West, the meeting of the body and the soul, the meeting of the Jorba and the Buddha. The West has developed the genius of the objective world, science, technology, the comfort of the body. The East has developed the genius of the interior world, meditation, silence, the art of dying. Up to now, they have remained separate, and because of this separation, both have suffered. The West is rich on the outside, but spiritually bankrupt, full of anxiety and meaninglessness. The East is rich on the inside, but physically poor, starving and neglected. This division is a crime against humanity. My vision is to destroy this division. I want you to be a nomad of the spirit, a person who has no boundaries, who belongs to the whole of existence, who is as much at home in a laboratory as in a meditation hall. This is why I am creating an academy of sciences and arts totally devoted to life and to enhancing life. I cannot think of what more humanitarian purpose there can be than this. This academy is not just a dream, it is a necessity. While the politicians are preparing for a global suicide with their nuclear ties, we must prepare for a global awakening. We need a place where the science of the Bardo is taught alongside the science of physics. When you support this channel by clicking the join button, you are becoming a founding member of this invisible academy. You are saying that you belong to the future, not to the dead past. Your contributions through super thanks are the seeds of this new world. Every bit of support helps us reach more seekers and provide them with the tools for their own liberation. And if you want to carry this academy in your pockets, our e-books are your essential curriculum. They are the practical guides for the new man. Remember the story of the old Italian man and his 3 daughters making pasta. He asked them who they would like to be if they weren't in stinking old Napoli. One wants to be Sofia Loren, another Gina Lollobrigida. They want the fame, the cars, the attention. But the youngest says she wants to be Victoria Pepelina. And when the father asks who in the hell is Vittoria Pepelina, he realizes it is just a name from a song, a name that means nothing. This is the state of your personality. You are all trying to be someone else, trying to be a Vittoria Pepelina of the ego. But in the Bardo, all these names, all these Sofia Lorens and Vittoria Pepelinas will dissolve like sugar in water. Only your individuality remains. Individuality is the money, the diamonds. It does not need attention from others to exist. It is self-signing. It is the Buddha within. This Buddha within is not a Buddhist. It is simply a state of pure awakened consciousness. When I salute the Buddha within you, I am not saluting a person. I am saluting the potential of the universe that is breathing through you. If you can realize this, while you are elbows deep in the ravioli of your daily life, then you are a Jorba the Buddha. You are celebrating the pasta and the prayer simultaneously. You are living the greatest synthesis. This synthesis requires a new kind of sannyas, entering the stream. Entering the stream means you are no longer fighting the current of existence. You are relaxed. You have dropped the oars. You are a nomad floating toward the ocean. In the Bardo, this relaxation is the key. If you try to swim against the visions, you will drown in fear. If you relax into the music of Om, the current itself will carry you to the clear light. My work is to help you find that relaxation here and now. Don't wait for the funeral pyre to let go. Let go now. Let go of your prejudices, your labels, your begging for attention. If you find this vision of a new humanity inspiring, please take a moment to like this video and share it with your friends. Let us create a chain reaction of awareness. We are living in a time where every single person's awakening counts. And if you want to support this work more deeply, the join and super thanks buttons are your way to participate in this humanitarian mission. Our ebooks in the description are specifically designed to help you transform your daily activities into a Bardo meditation. They are the maps for the great pilgrimage from here to here. In the Heart Sutra, the mantra is Gate Gate Pargate Parsamgate Bodhi Swaha. Gone, gone, gone beyond, gone altogether beyond. This going beyond is the ultimate adventure. It is going beyond the personality, going beyond the mind, and finally going beyond enlightenment itself. Because even the idea of being enlightened is a subtle ego. As I say in Beyond Enlightenment, beyond it there is only nothingness. But that nothingness is not empty. It is a full emptiness. It is the womb of the universe. When you disappear into that nothingness, you are not lost. You are finally found. You become the stars, the trees, the ocean. You become the laughter of the Buddhas. I am reminded of the little Arni who won the dog because he told the biggest lie, that he never told a lie. Our world is full of such priests and politicians who win the dog by lying. But you must be simple like a small child. You must have the courage to be the idiot of Dostoevsky, the one who is so authentic that the world thinks he is crazy. In the Bardo, only the idiot, the simple, innocent soul, can see the clear light. The cunning mind will be too busy analyzing the deities to notice the truth. Be simple, be innocent, be authentic. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is the most profound psychological document ever produced. It knows that the human mind is a factory of illusions. It tells you, O nobly born, recognize that the world is a dream. If you can see that your life is a dream, then you will see that your death is also a dream. And if death is a dream, then who is there to be afraid? The one who is watching the dream is the only reality. This watcher is the money. It is the diamond that survives the fire. Tonight, as you go to sleep, practice the final synthesis. Lie down and feel that your body is a temple. Feel the Padme, the lotus of your physical being. And then focus on the money, the silent flame in your heart. Listen to the hum, the sound of the universe vibrating within you. Say to yourself, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the sound of silence. If you can fall asleep in this state, your sleep will become a yoga nidra, a conscious sleep. You will be practicing the Bardo every single night. This is the most practical way to live. I want to hear from you. After this long journey through the Bardo together, how do you feel? Do you feel a bit more relaxed? A bit more silent? Or do you have more questions? Write them in the comments. I read your comments to see the reflection of my words in your hearts. Let us keep this dialogue alive. We are all nomads on the same pilgrimage. As we conclude this series, I want to emphasize that the Academy of Sciences and Arts is already happening within you. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, the Academy is there. Every time you choose silence over noise, the Academy is there. Every time you choose love over fear, the Academy is there. You are the laboratory. You are the scientist. You are the Buddha. My role is just to be a vehicle for existence, as I said in Om Mani Padme Hum. I am just a finger pointing to the moon. Don't sat the finger. Look at the moon. The moon is the clear light. It is shining right now. It is shining in your eyes, it is shining in your breath, it is shining in the gaps between my words. Don't let the Toyota car of your mind stop you in the forest of desires. Don't be here after what the ego is after. Be here for what existence is offering. This is the greatest synthesis ever. This is the only hope for a new man and a new humanity. I salute the Buddha within you. You have been patient, you have been silent, and you have been receptive. That receptivity is the beginning of your transformation. Go into the world as a Zorba the Buddha. Dance, sing, enjoy your pasta, and remain as a silent witness to it all. Let your life be a celebration, and let your death be the ultimate crescendo of that celebration. Thank you for being part of this pilgrimage. If you haven't yet, click the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay connected with our future explorations. Your support through join and super thanks is what allows this light to reach the furthest corners of the earth. And for your daily practice, our ebooks are always available to guide you. The money is shining. The Padme is open. The hum is vibrating. Om, Om, Om. Gat gat sangat bodhi swaha. Gone, gone, gone beyond, gone altogether beyond. Oh, what an awakening! Be a light unto yourself. Goodbye, my beloved friends, until we meet again in the silence of the heart.